The most famous movie streaming service, Netflix, started its journey by sending DVDs through the mail. Today, it consumes over 15% of the world's internet bandwidth and serves more than 200 million users in over 190 countries. It has been a long journey of trial and error, luck, and perfect timing. In this video, we'll explore how Netflix began, its milestones, challenges, and the path that shaped this company. Previously, I've created videos about the success stories of Starbucks, McDonald's, how Spotify became a $72 billion company, and other brands on my channel. So, join me for another inspiring success story. Reed Hastings, the CEO and co-founder of Netflix, previously worked in software development by founding Pure Software. This company provided tools for debugging software and experienced rapid growth. However, Hastings' lack of managerial experience led him to delegate management responsibilities. After Pure Software merged with Atria and was acquired by Rational Software in 1996 for over $700 million, Hastings amassed significant wealth. He spent 2 years researching and studying management to avoid the challenges he faced while growing his company in the future. In 1997, Reed Hastings came up with the idea for a service that we now know as Netflix, inspired by a personal challenge. Hastings was fined $40 for forgetting to return a rented movie to the store. Frustrated, he decided to create an alternative service where users would never have to pay late fees for forgetting to return a movie. The idea for Netflix was inspired by the gym membership Hastings had at the time. Reflecting on this, Hastings remarked,
"The idea of a gym was very interesting. Members could use the gym services as much as they wanted for a monthly fee of $30 to $40.
Mark Randolph, Reed Hastings' sole partner in founding Netflix, also admired Amazon's business model and concluded that they could start their own service through mail delivery. Netflix launched with an initial investment of $2.5 million, funded by Hastings. Initially, Hastings and Randolph conducted research on VHS tapes, but decided against them due to their high storage and shipping costs. In 1997, with DVD players entering the U.S. market, the two co-founders turned their focus to these discs, paving the way for Netflix's innovative approach to home entertainment. Hastings and Randolph, after conducting numerous tests and cost projections, launched their business on October 14, 1998, with 30 employees and a catalog of over 925 movie titles. Netflix's business model, based on DVD rentals, was modern and forward-thinking. However, the scarcity and high price of DVD players posed challenges for the company. Hastings' foresight and willingness to wait paid off in the long run, as Netflix's customer base eventually grew. In September 1999, Netflix introduced a subscription model with a monthly fee of $16. This allowed members to rent multiple DVDs per month. While users could not have more than 4 DVDs simultaneously, there was no limit to the total number of DVDs they could rent in a month. Blockbuster, the giant of movie rentals in America, made a $50 million offer to acquire Netflix in 1999, but the offer was rejected. In 2002, Netflix went public, offering over 5.5 million shares and raising $82 million in capital. After years of losses, Netflix turned its first profit in 2003 as its user base grew to 1 million. That year, the company recorded a profit of $6.5 million. By 2005, Netflix had a catalog of over 35,000 movie titles and was renting out more than 1 million DVDs to its users daily. Blockbuster, observing Netflix's success with its mail-based DVD rental service and after having its acquisition offer rejected, launched its own service in 2004. Walmart, the world's largest retail chain, also entered the DVD rental market. However, Netflix dominated the market, leaving little room for competitors. The competition among the three companies continued until Blockbuster, following the dismissal of its CEO in 2008, filed for bankruptcy in 2010. Walmart also exited the market, leaving Netflix as the sole leader and unrivaled player in the industry. With the introduction of smartphones and increased access to high-speed internet, Netflix anticipated that a streaming service could secure the company's future success. According to reported statistics, Netflix's DVD rental rates experienced a downward trend from 2006 to 2011. After launching its streaming service in 2007, Netflix announced in January 2013 that 2 million subscribers had joined its streaming platform during the fourth quarter of 2012. Since 2011, Netflix decided to produce its own exclusive content. The extensive investment in this area has caused traditional competitors of Netflix to express concerns over the rising costs of content production. Among the first original series produced by Netflix was the television show House of Cards, which was streamed on their platform. Additionally, Netflix produced other series such as Lilyhammer and the fourth season of Arrested Development, which had previously been produced by Fox. Netflix is currently one of the most successful video streaming services, but it is not alone in this field, facing competition from platforms like Amazon Prime and Hulu Plus. The price of each Netflix share has risen from $15 upon entering the stock market to $185, with the company's market value now at $61.6 billion. Netflix ranks 71st in Forbes' list of the top 100 brands, with the brand's value estimated at $8.5 billion. With over 4,700 employees, Netflix operates in more than 190 countries worldwide. As part of introducing startups and major companies, today we'll delve into one of the most renowned, Spotify, and get to know more about its formation and development. Before such software existed in the music industry, copyright protection was only possible through the physical purchase of albums. For music on physical albums that were inaccessible, illegal downloads became a common practice. In 1999, the website Napster entered the scene, allowing users to share music files stored on their hard drives for free. However, it faced lawsuits, starting with the band Metallica, followed by many others, ultimately leading to its shutdown in 2001. Afterward, music tracks were sold for about $2 each on platforms like iTunes, but this model didn't satisfy Spotify's founders. This led to the birth of the idea for Spotify in Stockholm in 2006, created by Daniel Ek and Martin Lorentzen. Daniel, who is still the CEO of Spotify, was born in 1983 into a poor yet artistic family. His grandparents were musicians, and he developed an interest in programming at the age of 14. At 16, he applied for a job at Google but was rejected due to not having a university degree. Despite this, Daniel achieved a monthly income of $50,000 at a young age and even founded a company with 30 employees. In 2006, while Daniel was the product manager at Stardoll, he and Martin Lorentzen, a co-founder of Tradedoubler, were brainstorming ideas and names for their new project. During one session, Daniel misheard Martin's suggested name, Spotify, from another room and immediately liked it. They quickly checked Google for the name's availability, found it unregistered, secured the domain, and left the office. Interestingly, following this naming success and Spotify's later achievements, the naming pattern using eFay gained immense popularity. Over 350 companies have since adopted this naming style. However, the two founders later claimed that Spotify was inspired by combining the words spot and identify. After 2 years of initial research, they launched the first version of Spotify in 2008. Unlike the conventional methods of that time, Spotify introduced a freemium service, which was well received. This model offered basic features and ads for free, while additional features, such as higher streaming quality and offline music downloads, were available through a subscription. Additionally, instead of the traditional model of fixed payments to artists for album or song sales, Spotify implemented a royalty system based on the number of streams an artist received relative to the total number of streams on the platform. Interestingly, despite their innovation, the company incurred a $4.4 million loss in its first year. However, they didn't lose hope and persevered. Naturally, the company needed to secure funding to achieve its goals, a process that came with many challenges. Daniel recounts spending an entire night in freezing weather outside an investor's office, hoping to secure some capital. Eventually, Spotify's first investors, Li Ka-shing, Creandum, North Zone, and Horizons Ventures, came on board, collectively contributing $21.6 million in the first funding round. A year later, Li Ka-shing and several other firms participated in Spotify's Series B funding, injecting an additional $50 million into the company. In Series C funding, Spotify raised $161.1 million in 2010, with contributions from Founders Fund and Sean Parker, the founder of Napster. That same year, the number of songs available on the platform reached 10 million, closing the gap with iTunes' library of 11 million songs. As a result, the Swedish company set its sights on expanding to the U.S. market. They rented a space at the Rocket Space co-working hub, leveraging the benefits of a shared workspace to further develop their platform. Their progress was steadily upward, and over time, they managed to establish lucrative partnerships with major companies such as Netflix, Samsung, Sony, and several other American and European firms. Spotify went public on the New York Stock Exchange in April 2018 as a publicly traded company. This move sparked such a revolution in the industry that Spotify now operates in 178 out of 235 countries worldwide. The current Spotify collection includes over 70 million tracks, 2.6 million podcast titles, 4 billion playlists, and more than 21 million artists. Today, Spotify has over 3,000 employees, and Daniel Ek continues to serve as the company's CEO. The company's annual revenue has also surpassed $6 billion.